Hello, and welcome to the Loveology podcast, where we talk about love and life with laughter. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jason.
He's the carefree one.
She's the serious one.
And we're married.
We have been since 2012, and we like to think of ourselves as a couple of loveologists.
Not because we are the experts, but because we just love love.
We enjoy studying and talking about it, so we thought, let's just start a podcast.
A place where we can share what we have learned about love, relationships, and marriage.
You can share what you've learned, and we can all grow together.
So here we are. Are you ready?
Let's get started. How's everybody doing? I hope y'all are, all my couples out there, hope y'all, you enjoyed yourself this weekend.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's has passed. I know my fellas feeling good because the pockets are hurting.
Yours not hurting that bad, is it?
No, mine's not hurting. I'm 7 years in the game and I know how to be creative. Fellas, you got to be creative as you get older. My pockets are not hurting. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, after 7 years, it's kind of like, I don't know. We just do good stuff for each other all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
like flowers and stuff. I
Yeah.
give you flowers. You still have flowers that was still alive.
Exactly.
When Valentine's Day came around,
Yeah.
and we don't get out as much.
Mm-hmm.
So we really appreciate the time we do spend with each other.
Yeah.
And so we went out this weekend and we enjoyed ourselves.
Yes, and I'm tired because I don't get to kick it like that.
Right. Right.
And we did. So yeah, just going out to eat for us, and we went to a concert, and so we had a good time.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, just real simple.
Enjoy each other company.
But I almost got my head busted on the restaurant.
Yes.
But they overbook,
Oh yeah. Do we want to tell this story?
Well, yeah.
About a restaurant. We're not gonna name the name of the restaurant.
Yeah, it's a rotating restaurant in LA.
Jason.
It is what it is. It's a it's a rotating restaurant in LA. They dropped the ball. They overbooked, and it seemed like maybe hundreds of people mad. You ruined our Valentine's weekend. You ruined it.
Well, let's give the people the specifics. So we had a reservation,
mm-hmm.
and when we got there, they said, "Oh, we're 45 minutes behind."
For sure.
And I saw people like lined up against the wall, kind of sitting down in their chairs, like a
Right.
waiting area. So that was not good, right?
Right.
So all of those people probably had reservations, and they were in front of us, but they told
Mhm.
us they were 45 minutes behind. So we said, you know what? We'll wait. We'll
Right.
wait 45 minutes.
We'll walk around this beautiful hotel. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It was on the 35th floor, overlooking the
I
city.
mean, if they're gonna figure out the name of this hotel,
It is
this
what it
restaurant,
is.
You might
It
as
is
well.
what it is. I'm not gonna give it a name. Y'all can do y'all research. They dropped the ball. Read the reviews.
And so we'll wait. I mean, that's already like a huge no. I don't think I've ever gone to a place that I had a reservation and they told me I had to wait 45 minutes. So
Right.
we were already like, okay, well, we'll be understanding. It's Valentine's Day.
Right.
We overbooked a little bit. It's all good. You know
Right.
what I mean? No. We go back after 45 minutes to check, and what they say, Jason?
They said that, it's gonna be like an hour and a half wait, even after we came back,
Mm-hmm.
for that 45-minute first wait.
Yeah.
They were supposed to call me, but they didn't.
Right.
And so yeah.
So he was
people
like,
was upset.
oh no, we got to go.
They just really shut down the restaurant. They said, hey, basically the kitchen's closed. They brought security out and everything and pushed us out into the lobby.
Yes,
yeah.
it
So
was
I'm
very
gonna
interesting.
be contacting this restaurant to see if I can get some type of voucher or something.
Something. But yes, Jason read the reviews the next morning, and people were very understandably upset.
Mhm.
But Jason and I, one of the things that we love about each other is we're roll with the punches,
Easy
man.
going.
Hey, let's just
Ashley was like, shoot, we can go to IHOP.
and go to a bar later or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. We ain't even tripping like that. But no, we ate it in the lobby. It's a really, really nice restaurant. And so the lobby, it wasn't a restaurant in itself. It was just places where you can sit down and then a random waitress would come out. And we ate in the lobby and it was really good food.
Had drinks and we had a good
We had a
time
good
because at
time.
the end of the day, it's about enjoying each other's company.
Enjoying each other. It's not about the food. It's not about the sights. It's not about the flowers and the roses and the gaudy balloons. It's not about that.
Yeah.
It's about the person that sit across next to you.
That's right.
That's what it's all about.
So that's what we had, and it's like we still had a great time. That was an inconvenience, but it is what it is. You know, and I think that's something that you definitely have to learn in a relationship. Things won't always go according to plan.
For sure.
Let's just let's make the best out of what we have going on here.
Exactly.
We can still salvage the night, and we can still have a good time.
And then it's a whole weekend, and and the next day we went to a concert,
Mm-hmm.
and shout out to Gallant.
Yes.
I don't know if y'all heard this song. I'm pulling my way in. Go. Y'all hear that last part? I can sing on that last look. Go. That last go. That's where my vocals come in at. But yes, man, I can't do this on my own. So yeah, y'all gotta look up Gallant. Man, awesome music.
Yes,
dope.
Very awesome music.
So we had VIP backstage passes and all that great, so that was pretty cool. We really enjoyed ourselves.
Definitely did.
Man, shout out to Gallant, man. Appreciate it. We definitely enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah. So hopefully you all had a great Valentine's Day weekend and you're ready to study some more love, because that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
So are you ready today?
What are we talking about today, love?
We are talking about growing up together.
Growing up together.
Or you can say growing together.
Sometimes it's like a magical feeling. Growing up together, right? Sometimes it's magical.
Yes.
Sometimes it's hard work, and sometimes
you
don't like it.
I think majority of the time is hard work.
So sometimes it's a struggle, but it's okay, because once you get there, it will be lit and everybody's crunk about it. You hear me?
Yeah.
So let's get this thing going. Growing up together.
Yeah.
Talk to me, baby. What we got?
So I think that you said something interesting one time, Jason.
Don't I always?
Yeah, that's true. We were watching, or I was watching Time Traveler's Wife.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason kind of saw like some weird stuff going on. Like he came in and saw, this guy's disappearing. Like, what's happening? I want to watch this movie. So
yeah,
I've seen it multiple times. He had never seen it before, so we watched it. But if you all haven't seen that movie, this man is a time traveler, and he'll disappear and reappear in a different time, and sometimes he couldn't control it, and sometimes he could.
Right.
But anyways, he meets a young woman in the field, like a little bitty girl, when he's an older man.
Mm-hmm.
But it turned out that was his wife.
Right.
So he knew all along.
Spoiler alert.
Well, this movie is so old. Like, it ain't that old, but I'm sorry if you haven't seen it. But
it's still worth checking out.
No, it's not a spoiler, because you know that he's.
Oh, you know that already?
I think so.
Not in the beginning.
Not in the very beginning.
But
okay.
That's not some of the main points of it. So yeah, still watch it. It's still good.
Yeah. Well, basically, the little girl like grows up. He never tells her that she is his wife.
Mm-hmm.
He never tells her that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, she grows up, she develops a crush on him. She falls in love with him, like the older version of himself,
mm-hmm.
right? And he told her when they would meet, like when he was young,
mm-hmm.
like eventually he told her, we're gonna meet at when we're the same age,
right?
Basically, and we're both adults,
mm-hmm.
and so like she's been in love with him, and now she meets him in like present time, in her present time,
right?
Instead of seeing his future self,
right?
And so like she immediately goes for it, right? Like
right.
She's been in love with him since she was a little girl, and then she kind of notices that he he's young.
He's not as polished.
Yeah, he's a young guy, and
mm-hmm.
she tells him, she's like, I think I prefer the older you.
Right.
That's because that's the man that she fell in love with.
Right.
And you said that really stood out to you.
Yeah.
It was very interesting to you, because it's like, what clicked for you in that moment?
Well, it's just, I mean, when you're younger, you do young things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And when you're older, you have more of appreciation, and you can kind of understand more, because you're learning your mate. I'm learning you. You see what I'm saying? And the more I get to know, more information I know about you, the better I can make you feel happy, make you feel special.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And just the older that you become a more mature person, hopefully.
Right.
Right? Because some people, I don't know
right.
what happened.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us wish that we can kind of speed ahead, you know, to this older, more mature person. It depends on your age, right? But at the time that you're dating or whatever. But I think if people go in with an understanding as young people, if you get married young, that we're both going to change.
Right.
And we're both do have years and life to live that is going to grow us and change us. And we have to kind of roll with the punches, kind of going back with, you know, and like figuring this out as we go and making the best of that, you know.
There's going to be some trials and tribulations.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But those trials and tribulations will ultimately make the best of you two.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And to be there. So hopefully everybody understands why I told that story of like, sometimes we wish I'm sure people wish we can just like speed ahead.
Right. or automatically be the best version of yourself.
Exactly.
When I first meet you. And that's not that realistic.
Yeah, and like I said, it depends on the age. So that's why I said growing up together. The title will be that, because we're going to talk about people kind of getting married younger. You know, nowadays it's actually unconventional to get married young. And so I can't remember, how old was I? I was 26 when we got married.
Yeah.
And you're 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
So, you know, we weren't that young, right? We had lived and experienced quite a bit of stuff, I guess.
For sure.
But we were still younger than a lot of people. One person asked me, because I had my first child, I was 28. And so somebody was like, do you feel like you were too young, you know, to get married?
And also the ones that are newcomers, you know, both of us was in the military as well. So we had a lot of life experience with the military. Yeah. And we grew up with humble beginnings, so we had that end of the spectrum. Yeah. So we actually did have a pretty, our lives been kind of, you know, all over the place. You would say, you know. Yeah,
we had a lot of experiences.
I've been to over 22 different countries. You know, wife been to several countries. You know, know some languages. You know.
No, you guys. I studied Spanish, and I studied abroad in Spain for 1 month.
¿Cómo estás?
I am not fluent at all. Don't let Jason tell you that.
I'm not fluent, but I know a little bit about.
I know how to get around. I could survive in a Spanish-speaking country.
Konnichiwa. I know several languages.
Jason,
that's a different language. I know.
Which languages? You don't even know which language it is.
See, I know all types of languages. You know, arrivederci.
Jason, stop it.
I'm just saying. For y'all that's following, because we are in different countries, so you know, shout out to all our different countries listening. You know, so you know, if I pick up on some of my languages, you know, just feel free to speak to me in your native tongue, and I will try to follow.
Oh my God. Moving on. Why is Jason so crazy? What's wrong with you?
I was born this way.
So anyway, yes, like I said, what was I saying? I was saying that we are going to talk about, you know, what it's like to kind of grow up together, even though you and I were a little bit older than some, you know, I don't know, someone 19 years old getting married.
Right, with no life experience. This is the key thing is life experiences. Yeah, because like Aaliyah said, age ain't nothing but a number. But it's about that life experience is what makes it really count.
Right. So I think that if you're young and getting married, you know, like I said, the main thing to remember is that you're both going to change. You are both going to change for sure. And I do want to put out a disclaimer though, because so before I go into this, because sometimes, especially Black women, it seems, it's like, I don't want to turn this into like, oh, you're required to suffer a lot, right, with the man to get him to where he is. Because I know that's been a conversation in recent years where you would hear these men, I forget the pastor name, John Gray, I believe. He said something about like, man, my wife had to put up with a lot with me. You know what I mean? Right. And just like, he basically took her down through there, but she stuck with me. And I think we don't know what the a lot was. Correct. Right? So
he could be over exaggerating.
Yeah, he could. I don't know what it was, but sometimes people do, I just want to say that there's a thin line between like supporting someone and then being abused. You know what I mean?
Right.
And being used and just like not being valued and all of that stuff. And you're sticking in there, hoping that they would change, waiting for them to grow up and stuff like that. And so it's just a thin line, and you have to be the judge of that, I guess.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you just take it as a grain of salt. You know, take it with a grain of salt. So it's like you would probably say, "Oh yeah, Jason, he didn't have put me through a lot." You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't say that phrase, but I would say that
you could say that, right?
I could, yeah.
Right. But then in reality, if you really look at the big picture, it's like I really didn't put you through a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Not in comparison to some other things that you could have been doing.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just all about, you just never know what really happens. So just take it with a grain of salt. That's all it is.
Right. So I just don't want anyone to confuse like this episode with, oh, here's a person saying, oh, you got to suffer, you know?
Yeah.
But I just want to say that like, there is some amount of suffering, right?
Mm-hmm.
That comes with being with just being with the person. And if you're starting together young, you probably have like a lot more growing and maturing to do. No matter what. I don't care like what age it is. I think there will be something, right? Some growing, because like you said, you have to learn you're a person,
right? And
until you really, really get to learn know them, then there are going to be some mistakes and hurt feelings along the way, right? So I feel like, you know, living is all about growth, right? Like that's the whole point.
Right.
And I think, you know, healthy relationships, they make you better.
Yes.
And they encourage you to grow. And then they are there for you when you make a mistake. So I just don't want people to think that, oh, your partner can't make a mistake or you can't make a mistake, right?
Right.
I
make them all the time.
Yeah, of course. We all do, right? So that's just the main thing to remember is like, I really feel like the purpose of relationships is to help each other become the best version of ourselves. Now, that's not to say that like you just supposed to be, you know, you're supposed to try your best to be as healthy as whole as you can. But this other person is here to help support you in your journey. And we're here to support each other in our life journeys. So can you think of any times that like when you had to suffer a little bit because I was being immature or you know?
Well, of course.
Of course.
We're human. We make mistakes. You know, we've done some, you know, I have more experience in business. And you know, so I've been in business, you know, as far as sales and promotion and all that good stuff since I was a kid. So I've been doing this for a long time, and Ashley, she's new to the game, and not gonna go into great details because we still respect some of the people that was you know, trying to get over a little bit, and you know, I had to tell Ashley, I told her, I said, babe, X, Y, and Z is gonna happen. We gotta do this, and this. We just have to. And well, babe, here's babe, Mrs. Everybody is awesome, and it's a Disney movie. Well, you know, she wouldn't do that, or he wouldn't do that, and it's gonna be fine. And then nope, they trying to get over, and it did exactly what I said it was gonna do. But we got it resolved. We had to kind of, you know, hold out on them. Said, nope, you're not getting this until you pay up. And they eventually pay up. Took like a year. But they paid up.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, I didn't have my paperwork in order. Maybe.
Yes, that's part of it.
That was part of it, and just making sure that like everything was clear to both parties, verbally spoken, written down, so there's no confusion, no way for you to say I didn't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so like Jason said, he's more experienced, have more life experience in this thing. And he told me, he was like, I don't want to suffer through this with you. That's what He's like, I already know what's going to happen. I don't want to go through this, because clearly he's going through it with me. And I was just like resisting him the entire way.
Yeah, because I'm her mate. So that's my wife. So we're doing this together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like walking down a bad, bad path. It's like, no, we don't supposed to go this way. We're supposed to go this way. We're supposed to make a right. But
yeah.
No, we're going left. It's going to work out. And typically that's how I am.
Right.
But in this case, I just know. I knew that one.
Yeah. He did exactly what he said. Well, it did come true.
And she finally gave in, and we got out of the situation.
So I will say that sometimes experience is just the best teacher. I don't think that I would have ever, even though he was telling me, I just really don't think that I would have learned the lesson had I not experienced it.
She's a little hard-headed, y'all.
Well, okay, so let's talk about times that Jason was immature or didn't listen to me, because he is way worse than I am. Normally, I do not like to learn by experience. Yeah. Normally, that's not what I want to do. I want to hear stories from other people, and I thank you for your horrible story, and so I can learn from it, because I don't want to go through that. And that's really how I've always been my whole life. So
for sure.
Yeah, so it's not very typical of me to need the experience. Right. I just need a good story. That's all. A good warning. But Jason, on the other hand,
I'm pure experience.
Pure experience. And so there has been a lot of times,
probably once a week,
that I know this about him, and if I don't feel like it is very detrimental to our life, to him, then I will just allow him to do the mistake and make the mistake, because there's no point in me wasting my breath.
And sometimes I mistake gracefully, though.
Yeah, sometimes you do, but like I said, if it's something that I feel like is going to be detrimental, then I will be like, no, you need to listen to me. You need to listen to me.
So it also has been some times where you thought that it was going to maybe mess up, but it didn't. You know what I'm saying?
When?
I can't remember exactly, not right now, but it happens all the time.
It didn't mess up that time, but if you continue to do that, then like the odds are against you.
Yeah,
basically.
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So yeah, it worked one time.
Yeah,
right.
But I'm pretty good. See, Ashley is great. That's what you got to know your mate. It's all about knowing who you have. Ashley is a great planner. Mm-hmm. So when you come with great planning, you do take those data points from different people. You put stuff together, you plan it. You see what I'm saying? So you get like, if you planning going to a restaurant, you're gonna listen to reviews, you're gonna search around. You see what I'm saying? You planning it. Mm-hmm. But what I do, I shoot from the hip really well. I got great aim, shooting from the hip. Mm-hmm. And I don't know exactly where it came from, but it definitely heightened up when I was in the military and we was at war and we have to do certain things on the drop of a dime. You see what I'm saying? Just to stay alive. So yeah, I'm pretty good at that. So when our reservations went awry, it was easy for me to make a switch, and we just went to the lobby and boom, it was there. So it's just, I'm very optimistic. But I'm definitely open to hear your little story about
my little story. Oh my gosh, it's so many stories. So, but well, I mean, the simplest one is just when I was pregnant. I don't think I gave you credit for this either when we were doing our last episode about a woman's work.
I'm used to it.
Jason did cook dinner. You took the dinner card. For all of you who listened to the last episode, you know what we're talking about, what we're referring to. But you did cook dinner while I was pregnant and sick and had a commute from work. So you took over dinners, weekday dinners. And but I tried to tell Jason, you don't need to cook every night. Especially, so background is that I am the cooker, right? I cook for the family. Jason does not. Yeah. So to go from not cooking at all dinner ever to I'm going to cook every night.
Not just every night, but a new meal.
A new recipe every night.
A new meal.
So I tried to tell him, Jason, you are going to, you don't understand like the mental load that you're taking to find, ingredients that we don't normally cook with, new recipes.
Just finding that alone really almost killed me, because I don't know these different spices and all this stuff. I'm like, where do you find this stuff? And then once you really figure it out, you're like, well, why is it even on this aisle? Like, it shouldn't even be here. It should be over here,
Right. So I know because this is what I do. So I know the mental load that goes into that, but you didn't want to listen to me. So again, this is, and I'm just like, I want you to succeed. I want you to continue to cook, but I'm like, you're going to have to make like spaghetti one night and then not cook the next night. And then, Wednesday, you make spaghetti on Monday, we'll have leftovers on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, you can cook something else.
Right.
But all these new meals every single night is just not sustainable. So, of course, he burned out rather quickly.
Got mad.
Yeah, he was upset. And I'm just looking at him like, but I tried to tell you not to do that. I was trying to prevent this from happening. I already know this was going to happen, but you didn't listen to me. And so, he just started ordering food. I'm not cooking. We ordering dinner. Like, because I'm not cooking. I'm sick. I'm not cooking. Okay. Right. So we, frozen dinners for us because it's, right. or takeout because, it's just too much right now, know. So that's definitely.
And you got to think about it too. I don't, I'm the type of person that I can beat the odds. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been beating the odds my whole life.
Yeah. So he think that he can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can. Sometimes you will fall flat on your face, but it's okay. Pick yourself up and try again.
Well, you should have told yourself that when you got frustrated about cooking.
Yeah, I know. Man.
Every night.
Yeah. Hey, gotta use that juice on something else. It is what it is.
Yeah. So I totally in that situation, I really did try to stop you because I didn't want you to stop cooking. I didn't want it to be a bad thing. Right. But, you wouldn't. You stubborn. You called me stubborn. He's stubborn too. And yeah, we just as a lot of times I just have to
look. Some of them ingredients I still ain't used.
Exactly, still in the cabinet.
Spent hundreds of dollars on ingredients.
Yeah, I'm like, I already know. I can see it. Like you could see it so clearly. Yeah. I told you. I said you spending too much money on this strange stuff that that we are not going to cook with. Well, then you got mad about that. I'm like, okay, Jason, fine. Just waste it. Just waste the money. Just go ahead. Like I said, I know him. Sometimes he has to learn.
But I did have some pretty cool meals to come out of it.
Your meals were good. Yeah. And I'm still waiting on you to cook the eggplant.
I'm still waiting on you to cook some stuff a pecan pie that you're supposed to cook. And you lured me in a long time ago when we was boyfriend and girlfriend.
I made you. Okay. You
didn't make the pecan pie.
But you said that the cheesecake pecan pie was better than they don't want to hear this.
It was pretty good.
Excuse me.
It was pretty good.
No. Yes. Yeah. It's better than the pecan pie.
But I still want my pecan pie. Moving right along.
So anyways, basically these sort of things happen. Jason understands what I'm saying now. I understand what he's saying now. Right. But we had to grow and we had to support each other in our journeys. And so love is patient. Oh my God.
Yes.
It is just you have to be patient.
Yes.
So, and we talked about that on I think it was a 2-part series called Love Is, and we talked about the characteristics of love. And I find that patience is like, yes. It was the first one that was said.
Yeah, love is patient. Yes.
Yeah. So you just have to be patient with each other. Understand that your person is going to be changing and evolving, and your relationship as a whole is going to be changing and revolving. Mm-hmm. And you just have to be fluid like water. You know, you just kind of got to
go with the flow.
And you have to, just learn each other, be patient with one another, and support each other.
Mm-hmm.
Communication is the key. Always.
And trust the process.
Yeah, and trust the process. And who knows, some of your good habits may rub off on your partner, and some of their good habits may rub off on you. Jason, what good habit rubbed off on you that I have?
A good habit that rubbed off on me that you have? Well, I think, writing stuff down, organizing, being organized, because I'm not the most organized, most creative people. You know,
not the most organized.
Most creative people, you know, they are not as organized. But I will tell you this, and I will say,
am I creative?
No, I said most creative people aren't that organized.
So am I creative?
Well, you are creative, but I'm more creative. I'm more creative. I'm like way more creative than you are.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I guess.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
Okay.
Come on, give me a freestyle then.
Huh?
Give me a rap freestyle right now.
Just live. Because I'm not creative in that way. That's totally bogus.
Well, give me something.
Okay, whatever. Continue on to what you were saying.
Yeah, so you know, and just, you know, my wife is very compassionate, you know what I'm saying, and really wants to help the world, right? You know, just really want to help everybody if you could. You know, you'll dedicate your life to helping others, you know. And you know, not so much me, but I'm starting to get that as well. You know, I want to help as many people I possibly can, you know. So I think that what kind of rubbed off on
me.
Eating
healthy too.
Yeah, eating healthy. That's a lot of things. You know, we can have a whole podcast on the things that, you know, some of the stuff that rubbed off on me.
Well, you one of my favorite things that rubbed off on me is that you're a little bit more cutthroat than me. which is why the business situation, the thing,
I think
happens.
I'm just not as sensitive. That I'm insensitive, right?
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I mean, I don't know. You're just more business savvy, and y'all tend to be, it's business.
Well, I'm just saying you gotta let it know. It's the principle. It's the principle of it. I love you, you know what I'm saying, but it's principle.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, so I appreciate that because, if I did have that quality, then that whole situation that we were talking about earlier would not have happened because you could see it very clearly. And I think my compassion and my trust in people is the only reason why that happened. Right. So definitely I need that. I can't be walking around bouncing around like it's a Disney movie, like you said. Yeah. It's not. This is a crew.
I'm Ashley's bodyguard.
It's a tough world out here.
Yes.
And I know that, but sometimes when people get close to me and I just trust them, I just don't think that they would do certain things.
Right.
So I do know, I was in the military, like, you know what I mean? So I understand the horrible things that happen in the world.
Right.
That was you having the business savvy was definitely a big deal. Has definitely rubbed off on me. I'm all about, the paperwork. Let's set these expectations right up front. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even if we sisters and brothers, like, no. Mm-hmm. I was like, no. We're going to get this paperwork done. We're going to talk about this. And, this is going to be serious.
Got to.
But, I'm just such a rule follower. So, I just, it's okay to be rebellious sometimes for the right reasons.
Right.
Because technically Dr. Martin Luther King was rebellious.
Correct.
For his time, but it was a very good reason and a very moral and great reason to do this.
Right.
So you can't be scared, to buck up against the status quo sometimes, right? So you're good at that.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes the status quo is built to be against you. Mm-hmm. And so you have to say, hey, you got to look at it and say, hey, well, does this make sense? Right. Who is this helping? Mm-hmm. And sometimes you got to test out the waters. Or sometimes it just, the way it is just because that's just the way it was. Mm-hmm. And things change, so it needs to change. And if it doesn't change or nobody makes say, hey, this needs to change, then it's going to continue to be the same.
Right.
Prime example, China with their pretty much an AI revolution. They went from a country that's, tradition and old timey, and then all of a sudden a couple of years they almost leading the world in AI. Mm-hmm. So you have to make those changes. You have to evolve. Mm-hmm. Nothing stays the same.
Right. That's just so key. And you have to have that. You can't be afraid of change, I guess. So if you're young, you're in a relationship, you gotta know that the person is gonna change.
Right.
And hopefully for the better, right?
Right.
And you can't be afraid of the change. You just have to evolve with it, right?
Correct.
Because, like you said, business, countries, things are gonna change, and we got to be ready. Don't be afraid. Don't resist it. You
Mm-hmm.
know. So as long as it's happening for the good, and a lot of times it is happening for the good.
Mm-hmm.
So I would tell you one of the things that I like the most about growing up together, and that is, it's just that this, sharing your life and having these experiences, it really does make you closer to your partner.
For sure.
Like, this is what intimacy to me is all about,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just feel so close to you. We've shared a lot of experiences, and we grew, we helped each other grow.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you not love that? You know what I mean?
Right.
So like I said, that in the beginning, that's what healthy relationships are supposed to do. It's supposed to make you better. You be, good all by yourself, but, force when we're together, right?
Right. Don't sing it for me.
No. But yeah, what do you think about that? Like, just us growing up and having experiences together.
I think it's awesome. I think it's a unique experience that I wish that everybody could experience.
Mhm.
Because it tells a lot about, you find out a lot about yourself, and when you have somebody that is with you on the same page, and y'all have a common goal, like it's just an awesome feeling.
Right.
All
right. And so for those of you who may not know, we have been married for 7 years,
Mm-hmm.
together for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, pat ourselves on the back, honey.
And I've been knowing this lovely girl for since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up in the same, literally grew up together. We didn't hang out when we was kids, but I knew of her. I knew of her family. I knew of her brother, her cousins, and all that. And so yeah, I got to see her go from this shy, beautiful girl to
I'm still shy.
this swan that has her eagles spread out and just flying across the world. So good job.
Oh, thank you, honey. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Oh, same to you.
What's
I just love to see you mature, and when you're my baby daddy. You know what I'm saying?
a baby daddy? I'm a baby daddy, y'all.
I got to see you become a father and grow in your role as a father,
Yeah.
grow in your role just as a man, and just maturing as a person. It's
Yeah.
awesome to watch. It's like an honor to be able to watch that,
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think that sometimes it is I don't know which one is harder, because some people might say that, getting married young is hard, but I've heard a person that did get married young said, no, they feel like it's worse when you get older, because you're stuck in your ways, you know, you're not as flexible, you're not as compromising,
Right.
You've been living by yourself for 40 years, and you know what I mean? You don't want to, it's just a harder transition.
Right.
Yeah. For a person to come in and, change your world. It's just a harder transition than if you did it young, when you're everything is changing, everything is still moving pretty fast, you know, and it's just easier to do it all together, So, I just think that we should encourage people just to maybe not discourage them to get married young, but just to prepare them for what's about to happen, right?
Right. And
Because you can do
it's just
it.
a lot of changes.
Yeah.
Just prepare yourself for a lot of changes and be committed to each other.
Yeah. And growing with each other and supporting each other. That's all, right?
That's it.
I used to hate when people, I always felt like I've always been a very self-reflective person. And I used to hate when people told me to tell me that I didn't know who I was. Right. When I was 17 to 18, it's like, honey, you don't know who you are.
Right. Right.
And I think a better thing to say is that you may know who you are right now. Right. Because I did feel like I knew who I was. I did know.
You did know.
But I didn't know how much I would change.
Correct.
So.
And even that same person telling you that you don't know who you are, in that same breath, they don't know who they are, because they're going to change.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just, you're going to always evolve. You're going to always change.
Right.
And just, get that commitment your significant other to say, hey, let's just go and do this life thing together. Let's just go through these experiences together.
Right.
And just know that I always love you.
Yeah.
You know?
Can you think of one specific way that you've changed?
I think I'm more patient now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think I definitely listen more. You know what I'm saying? Especially, some people have different thoughts on how you're running a household and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some, and it's all about your relationship. It's all about you and your partner. So you gotta understand who your partner is and who you are. You know, some people, the woman runs the household, and some are like, the woman's the boss. You give the money to her because she know how to budget and all that good stuff. Well, then you have your man, where the man is the man of the house and everything is my way or the highway. You know, and then you have your couples where it's like y'all working together. You know, it's not necessarily I'm the CEO. You know what I'm saying? You the VP. It's more so like we in a corporation working together, and a corporation is love. You know what I'm saying? And we all do different. We handle different departments. You know what I'm saying? And so I think getting a better grasp for our relationship, because initially I was like, oh, I'm the CEO, right? But no, we work together for this corporation called love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it has some cool benefits if we do really well in the market with our corporation. You know what I'm saying? So I think listening and just understanding our roles. You know what I'm saying? I think that helps.
Well, what about just like as a person, not in the context of our relationship?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Because maybe these people are wrong when they say you don't know. Well, I do feel like they're wrong when you tell a young person they don't know who they are, because fundamentally I am the same. But there are some characteristics that changed about me. For example, the first time I mentioned earlier, I studied abroad in Spain in college. So I always knew that I was adventurous. I would have never called myself that, I guess. But I knew that I like to try new things. Right. So when I went out of the country for the first time, I was like, oh my God, I love going to different countries. So now it's like a requirement that I need to go to a different country. Like,
for sure.
Like at least every 5 years.
No, every year.
I really want to go every year, but that may not be feasible. But, we'll see.
And you know what? Hawaii, even though it is a state.
Yeah, it was like another country.
But it's like another country.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't have your passports and stuff,
go to Hawaii.
Go to Hawaii.
It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Awesome. So that was my out of the country fix for last year. Yeah. Right. So I mean so that's like a requirement that I kind of have now that I wouldn't maybe when I was 17 before I had visited another country. Right. That I wouldn't have known that I want to be a global a globe trotter. You know what I mean? Right. I would have never said that. Right. Right. So yeah, but fundamentally I am the same person. Yeah. I'm trying to think of other ways that I've changed. Being in the military, it definitely made me tougher because I was very gentle. Yeah. Very, very gentle. So just life in general, and sometimes that's a negative thing, right? Yeah. Like I'm too tough. Right. Too direct sometimes. And so yeah, it's just some bruising that comes with life, I guess. Or I needed to thicken up. I need my skin to I need to have a more thick skin. Correct. So a person who saw me, like for example, when I was in high school, I didn't go to any parties, I didn't dance, right? Right. I was so shy, and then when you saw me out as an adult, you was like, "What in the world?" Right. What's going on? So yeah, I broke out of my shell. A little bit more. I am still shy, but I definitely broke out of my shell in different ways, and just learned to let loose and have a little bit more fun instead of just being so studious all the time, which is what I was, very studious. So yeah, I guess I changed for the better, and so did you.
Oh yeah,
good job, high five.
High five. There you go. Look, good job.
So yeah. I think that's it, unless you have any final words.
No, man. No final words on this episode, man. Grow up together no matter what age you are. You can always grow. It's just all about you and your mindset and the mindset of your partner. So who cares if you're just now getting married at 69 years old? You still can grow together.
Yeah. And like you always say, communication is just so important because basically you just need to be checking in with your partner. You need to know who they are. They're changing. You're changing. So you guys have to communicate so you can grow together.
There's nothing wrong with asking the tough questions.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with it. Just ask away.
Yeah.
So check this out, man. I really appreciate everybody for checking in. Shout out to my Patreons, man.
I know. Hey.
Patreons
we love y'all.
Are definitely making it a game changer. We love you guys. If you want to become a patron of the Loveology Podcast, go ahead to go to our website, loveologypodcast.com, and there's a button down there you can click to become a patron. You can do that. And if for those that don't know, Patreon's been around for thousands and thousands of years. So you have thousands of years. So when you have people like Michelangelo, Da Vinci, you got all these different artists and painters and sculptors, you know, they didn't that's what they did. And they wasn't really selling their works, right? They was just creating this stuff. And so some of the ritzy people around those times wanted them to continue to do that, so they would pay them. You know, they would give them a little bit of money here and there so they can continue to create great content. And so that's what the Patreon is all about. So if you want to sow some great seeds and some great soil, Loveology Podcast would love to take your seeds. And it's in, like I said, you can do it as low as $2 a month. And also, we're going to talk about it on Wednesdays. We'd have a live discussion. Check us out. Facebook Live is on Wednesday nights, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. And as you can see, we're taking questions as well. I'm doing a video, like a 30-second, 45-second video where we answer your questions. So if you got questions on a certain topic, man, feel free to hit us up. You can just email us at loveologypodcast@gmail.com. And that's about it, love. That's about it. So we appreciate you guys. We ain't gonna hold you up. We're gonna keep it moving because we got a little bit more Valentine's to go. You know, we got one more day.
I need to take a nap. Kicking it too hard.
Yeah. So I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. And you know what I always say: when there is love, there is peace, and when there is peace, there is progression, like evolving.
Oh, yes.
Right? Growing up.
You tied that on in, didn't you?
That's what it's all about.
All right, everyone. Until next time.
Holla at y'all. Peace out.
You've been listening to the Loveology Podcast. Did you have fun with us today? Tell a friend about our show. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to keep the conversation going. Be sure to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. Visit us at loveologypodcast.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time, Loveologists.